Good day everyone, I am Miss Helena and welcome to our virtual class for Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 2. Okay, so before we proceed, let me introduce you first our objectives for today. First, we have here define what is SFP and its two forms. Second, classify the current and non-current item to be used in this financial statement. And last but definitely not the least is prepare an SFP using the report and account form. Okay, so now are you ready? Okay, so have you ever encountered the word balance sheet? In our lesson for today, we are going to discuss about the statement of financial position, or in short, the SFP, and we will be answering our first questions along with our discussion. Okay, so now, what is SFP? SFP is also known as balance sheet, where it is the representations of the financial position and statement performance of an entity. It also includes the amount of company total assets, liabilities, owner's equity or capital, and it was prepared after the trial balance. So, as you can see in our accounting cycle, nasa pang-anim siya after the trial balance. Now, ano nga ba yung aim ng ating SFP? Okay, so ang SFP ay ginagamit ng mga companies for them to be able to recognize if yung company ba nila ay heading into bankruptcy na. Kung gaano na ba kalaki yung utang or kung gaano kalaki yung amount ng present or ng current asset nila. Meanwhile, it is also stated that we have two forms of creating or preparing our SFP. We have here, or we could be account form or report form. Now, let's elaborate this further. Account form is in form of horizontal position where assets are in left side and liabilities and owner's equity are in the right side. On the other hand, report form is also known as a traditional way of presenting an SFP, where it was in form of vertical. Assets are listed first, followed by the liabilities and equity. Now, since tapos na tayo sa pag-identify ng two forms na magagamit natin sa pag-prepare ng ating SFP, we will now going to proceed on unlocking the terms we will encounter while preparing our SFP. I know you already have an idea regarding to this, but let me recall this for you. First is the current and non-current assets. Okay, so current assets are assets where it is easily converted into cash, meaning madali siyang maliliquify. So the following are the examples: cash and cash equivalents, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, inventory, and marketable securities, while non-current assets are assets that cannot be realized. Opposite siya ng current assets, and it was also known as the long-term assets, since these are the assets that cannot be easily converted into cash. So the followings are the example: land, property, plant and equipment, or yung ating PP&E, trademarks, long-term investments, and goodwill. Let us proceed to the other one, which is the current and non-current liabilities. Current liabilities are obligations that fall due within 1 year. Ito yung mga debt or utang na mababayaran lang natin within 1 year, or sabihin natin na the same year kung kailan mo siya inutang. It is also known as the short-term liabilities, and the examples are accounts payable, short-term debt such as bank loans or the commercial paper issued to fund operations, dividends payable, notes payable, and the likes. While the non-current liabilities are the obligations that can be paid more than 1 year. So it was commonly 3 years, ganon, or depende sa napag-usapan or ng agreement yun na pinag-utangan mong bangko or individual man yan. It is also known as the long-term liabilities, and the examples are bonds payable, long-term notes payable, deferred tax liabilities, and mortgage payable. Okay, so for the last one, we have here the heading. Yung heading ay nagkakonsist ng 3 lines which includes the name of the company, statement of financial position, and the period covered. So meron ako ditong example na ipapakita sa inyo. So for the first line or for our name of the company, we have here the Naked You Apparel. Second line is the statement of financial position, and for the third line, we have the time covered which is the December 30 XXXX. Understood? Now, we are done in identifying the two forms and unlocking the terms. It is now time for us to proceed to preparing our financial position. But first, I want you to feel that you are now an accountant. With the guidance of our other partner, I want everybody to analyze each step in preparing our SFP. And since I have mentioned before that I have my co-partner, let me pass the time to her. Partner, go ahead.
Hi partners! I am Jamaica Masviliosis and I will guide you in preparing our SFP. So let's start. So we have prepared an example here. Please call on our aspiring accountant to feed this for us.
Sure. Number 1. Prepare a statement of financial position using the following accounts. 1 in a report form and 1 in account form. Cash, 5,000. Loans payable, 77,500. Account receivable, 2,600. Supplies, 2,300. Equipment, 17,000. Owner's equity, 40,000. Account payable, 22,400. Building, 113,000.
Thank you for that, Mr. Galliano. Let's now go on with the steps in preparing our SFP. Step 1. Prepare your heading, which we identified earlier. So, for the purpose of this presentation, we will use the following heading. We have here our first line, Naked You Apparel. The second line, Statement of Financial Position. And our third line is the date, which is December 30, 2020. So, the second step is to analyze the given account titles. So here we need to classify what are the current assets, non-current assets, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and owner's equity. So yung mga nakita nating current assets kanina sa examples natin ay cash, account receivables, supplies. Sa mga non-current assets naman like building, equipment. Current liabilities naman natin ay accounts payable and loans payables. And lastly, yung owner's equity. Step 3. After we identify the account titles, let's proceed in adding the amount that comes with the account titles. First is the total asset muna, where we add all of the current assets, which is yung cash na 5,000, account receivable na 2,600, and yung supplies na 2,300, and the total of current assets na 9,900. Next po nun ay yung non-current assets, which is yung building na 113,000 plus yung equipment na 17,000. Total of non-current assets na 130,000. Then, ipagpa-plus yung current assets na 9,900 sa non-current asset na 130,000. Equivalent of 139,900 ay na po yung total assets natin. Right after we add all of our assets, we now proceed on the liabilities, where in the problem, we only have our current liabilities. This is yung accounts payable na 22,400 and loans payable na 77,500. Total of liabilities natin ay 99,900. After you total the current liabilities, add the amounts of owner's equity na 40,000 sa total na liabilities natin na 99,900. Now, in problem, there was a condition. Prepare for the report and account form. So, unahin natin yung report form. Since we have recorded the titles vertically, remember, asset first before the liabilities and capital. Record the following classified account titles. Be cautious with the zeros para hindi magka-problem. So, this is our report form. Actually, kanina report form ang ating ginagawa. So, as you can see, balance ang ating total assets and total of liabilities and equity. Ibig sabihin, tama ang ating pag-analyze. So, di pa tayo tapos. Let me show you naman na account form of this problem. So, before we end this session, there will be a reminder from Miss Dayan.
Hi guys, this is Dayan. Before we end this discussion, let me remind you these notes. A statement of financial position can also called as balance sheet, and a statement of financial position can also recorded in two forms, which is report form and account form. And last, always remember the basic accounting equation is A is equal to L plus C. That's all. Thank you.
Did you enjoy our lesson for today? That's all, and we hope that you gained something from our lesson. We will see you as you become a certified public accountant in the near future.